Good evening. My name is Elicia Dennis. I am a senior at George Washington High School in the International Baccalaureate program. This fall, I will be attending the University of Notre Dame to study electrical engineering. I will be studying electrical engineering with a minor in physics. 10 years from now, I see myself as an engineer and an innovator. My aspirations include work with particle accelerators, biomedical technology, and computer hardware design. Although I have long been set on my future plans, the road to where I am has been far from easy. I was born into a fractured family. My mother left me at birth to never be seen again, while my father lacked the maturity and discipline required to raise a child. I was left in the care of my paternal grandparents and my uncle. They offered all the support they could, but their love and care was limited. Both my grandmother and grandfather were well into their 70s, and despite their best efforts, struggled to raise a young child. I was often in a caretaking role for my grandparents. It was a childhood that required me to grow up much faster than some of my peers. Due to the circumstances of my childhood, I lacked the familial support most children had in obtaining my education. Where my family lacked, my teachers continuously stepped up to the plate and worked to ensure that my needs as both a student and a person were met. Were it not for the educators who encouraged and supported me along the way, I would not be where I am today. One of the first memories I have of DPS is of my first grade teacher, Miss Dane. That year was a particularly difficult one, filled with stress as I cared for my ailing grandparents. Miss Dane saw that and, aware of the burden I carried, took it upon herself to give me the childhood I was denied. That summer, she took me swimming with her daughter. She gave me a few rare moments to be a kid in a pool to just enjoy summer. She was not the only teacher to reach out to me in tough times. My third grade teacher, Miss Romero, wrote me a card after the loss of a close family member. There are still occasions today where I seek comfort in the words she wrote me. My teachers also worked hard to meet my needs as a student. Although I was often ahead of my peers, my teachers gave me time and personal attention to be sure I was challenged and engaged, a task not easy in a classroom of 35 kids. When I was in 5th grade, my school had an after-school science program I dreamed of participating in, but due to my familial situation, I did not have transportation home afterwards. To make sure I was not denied an opportunity to further my learning, my teachers joined together and took turns giving me a ride home. That after-school program helped to foster my love for science and ultimately helped me to pursue engineering. These are the kind of opportunities that have shaped my life and my future, and they were possible only thanks to my teachers. In middle school, I was placed in the advanced language arts class. My teacher, Ms. Tester, encouraged students to develop their critical thinking and rational evaluation skills. I am sometimes described as eloquent and well-spoken. Looking back on my childhood, I realized how important Ms. Tester was to the development of these skills for me. Not just because she taught them in her classroom, but because she became the mother I never had. I began to spend time with her, helping her out in her classroom after school, talking with her, and learning social skills. Before I became close with Ms. Tester, I had a hard time interacting and emotionally connecting with others. Since my uncle worked nights, I simply didn't have the opportunity to practice those skills at home. To this day, Ms. Tester is an active part of my life as a friend, a mentor, and personal cheerleading squad. Above all, she continues to be my teacher, who pushes me towards the future she knows I will ultimately obtain. Upon entering the International Baccalaureate program at George Washington High School, my academic world opened up even more. My teachers challenged me and helped to spark an even deeper love for learning. One teacher, Mr. Lukowski, ended class every day by telling us, "Have a day." We finally asked him why he didn't say, "Have a good day." He explained, "Some days are good days. Some days will be bad days. But it's still a day, and a day to be grateful for." Mr. Lukowski passed away this December. He taught me the values of dedication and perseverance. He taught class until he had to go on medical leave, and even then, he supported his students until his last day. He taught me to realize that if I have a day, it's one to be grateful for. Mr. Lukowski's dedication is reflected every day in the success of his class. For as long as I can remember, I've had a love for technology, evidenced by the fact that if my grandparents left me unsupervised in the room, they often returned to find things such as a disassembled VCR. Teachers often use technology to supplement classroom learning and to better aid students in the development of key skills. It has allowed me to reach beyond the walls of my classrooms and access resources that would otherwise be unavailable to me. My teacher, Mr. McNeil, went out of his way to encourage my love for technology, a task facilitated by his usage of the blended learning model, a teaching method you saw in the earlier video. He also went above and beyond as a teacher and mentor. In one particular instance, I had questions about particle physics, a topic Mr. McNeil had a limited background in. Instead of letting my questions go unanswered, he contacted some of his friends, experts in the subject who had their doctorates in physics. He continued to ask questions on my behalf until I got the information I needed to further my learning. In doing so, he also worked to bridge the gap between my love for technology and my education. Thanks to Mr. McNeil's encouragement and support, I started the STEM Club at GW. The club works to provide low-income students with technology resources they may otherwise be denied due to their financial circumstances. I know firsthand the value of being given these resources. We also work with educators in our school to encourage the blended learning model. Mr. McNeil was the first in our school to take the blended learning approach, with several other teachers following suit. After experiencing a classroom environment like his, our STEM Club has worked to provide the same learning opportunities to the rest of the George Washington High School community. Mr. McNeil also encouraged me to reach for the stars when it came to my education. When Mr. McNeil learned of an award opportunity presented by the National Center for Women in Information Technology, he insisted I apply. Although I did not initially see the value of the award, upon receiving national recognition for my projects, many new resources became available to me and the STEM Club at GW. It was an opportunity for me to learn leadership from other women in the field. When I came back from the NC WIT program, I had the skills and confidence to effectively manage the STEM Club with 25 teenage boys in it. In this way, and in so many others, Mr. McNeil's encouragement and influence has had a lasting impact on who I am as a person and my dreams for the future. My teachers have not only helped me develop my academic skills, but also my leadership qualities. One teacher, Mr. Stickrath, stands out in my mind because of his willingness to engage his students in dialogue about the format of his class and even his teaching style. I've lost count of how many times I've stayed after school with Mr. Stickrath, discussing the class and his lessons. In doing so, he has made his students feel valued and respected, that our voices are honored. He has demonstrated the traits of the leader I hope to be someday. All of these experiences, all of these teachers, all of these opportunities have come together to make the student who stands before you this evening. I am very proud to say that 3 of the teachers I mentioned are here with me this evening: Ms. Tester, Mr. McNeil, and Mr. Stickrath. I ask you 3 to stand. So that we can recognize your lifetime commitment to students like me. It is even more powerful to think that without my schools and the teachers who pushed me along the way, I wouldn't have had much at all. There were no parents standing on the sidelines. If it weren't for my teachers and the exciting opportunities available to me through my school, I might be one of those statistics we all know about. I also want to thank all of you. Without your support, I might not have the after-school programs, the technology in the classroom, or the equipment in our science labs. Thank you for your commitment to students like me. And finally, I want to say that my education in DPS didn't only earn me a full ride to Notre Dame, although I'm going to say that's really awesome. My education in DPS is the gateway to a better life. I will have opportunities I never dreamed of when I was growing up. So on behalf of myself and the 84,000 other students in Denver Public Schools, thank you. Your support helps our teachers and schools change lives like mine. Good night.